In this lesson, you'll learn about creating manual comp take folders so that you can combine different parts or different takes that were recorded as different parts manually after you've recorded them. So say for example you've got a guitar part or a guitar solo, and instead of recording over the top to create a take folder, you actually recorded them in separate channels. Or maybe you've got a really long solo, and this is an example where I use it quite often. You've got a long guitar solo and you want to kind of change it up a bit, or you want to make it half as long. Maybe it's a 16 bar solo and you want to make it 8 bars. What you can do is, instead of just cutting it in half, you could actually take all the best bits and put them together into a comp take folder and then comp between the best parts of the solo. So what we're going to do here is, I've actually used Apple loops just for the sake of demonstration. We've got 3 different guitar parts, and let's imagine that they're all recorded separately on the recording day. So let's have a listen to them first of all. Okay, cool. So both slightly kind of, well, all 3 are quite different in terms of the style. One of them's strumming, one of them's kind of lead. That one's a bit more distorted. So we've got a few different styles here. Now, what we could do is, just to save some track space, first of all, is combine these into a comp folder. So pack take folder there is the option. But before we do that, we're going to rename these. So I'm going to give this a name of main, and then we're going to call this version 2. I'm going to call this version 3. And now let's go Alt C, go T back to our pointer tool, and let's give these different colors just so we can differentiate between them when we're comping. So now let's highlight all of them, right click, folder, pack take folder. Now you can see it's moved them all up to this first track, and we can close that here and remove the audio from these channels. So let's delete these channels and let's just rename this to guitar. So now, like we did earlier with vocals, we have a take folder and we can easily go between them. So we could just select one that we want to be the take, or we could actually comp between them. So let's think about how this might sound good. So this has got kind of a wah effect. And they're both kind of funky, these two, whereas this one, or it might sound cool going from here to here. So let's try a few options. So we're going to try combining these two into one single take. That sounds kind of cool, but now the volume is off, so we would have to go back to here, go to our pointer tool, let's add a cut there, and then we can reduce the gain of this guy. That's quite loud now, so let's just quickly add some automation. You're going to learn a lot more about this later on. But let's just add a point there, and we want to keep that same volume. That sounds kind of cool to me, and then we could loop that. Again, it needs kind of automating. That volume needs to then come back up. Cool. And then we could also try, I quite like that, so let's go to a new comp. Let's duplicate comp. So now we're on comp B. And now let's try something slightly different. Let's go from this first part to this one. And let's fix that automation. That's sounding cool to me. Let's just shorten that loop. So now you can see how that can be really handy, creating comp take folders from different parts. And if you're shortening a song or moving a song around, you can combine perhaps different sections. Maybe there were 2 solo sections, but you want to cut it down to 1. What you could do is drag the second solo into its own channel, and then combine them into a take folder, and choose the best bits from each solo and create kind of like the perfect solo. And you can do the same with vocals. Perhaps you had 4 verses, but you want to cut it down to 3. So you could grab one of the verses, move it underneath the original vocal, create a new comp folder, and then comp between the best bits of each.